Nod-Krai has been nothing but a joy to play through. Sometimes. The archon quests are so engaging, the character and their dynamics are fun and cute to watch. The gameplay... The archon quests is peak, right? Like, we can agree on that. I'm not gonna lie, it's cool that after a while, everyone can just come together and enjoy the game and the story. And in terms of story, plot, aesthetic, and characterization, Nod-Krai has been doing an amazing job. Gameplay, however, my problem is with the whole Lunar reaction system, which is a cool idea, making stronger versions of older reactions. The only two Lunar reactions as of right now that we know of are Lunar Charged and Lunar Blue, which, according to the AI overview on Google, has a unique damage calculation that considers the stats of multiple party members and allows for the possibility of critical hits, unlike their normal counterparts, Electrocharged and Bloom. It looks to be something only really for transformative reactions. So, for the 15 Emily fans, including myself, our queen might finally get the chance to shine that we've been looking for, because all this bitch really did was be the star of a mid-story quest, then left this world. Anyways, with this being a new region mechanic, I, along with many others, have thought that Ino was going to be the free unit that gave us access to said mechanic. As per tradition, whenever there's a new major region mechanic, you get a free character. That, one, allows you to freely indulge in said mechanic, and two, for people that are extremely conservative with their polls, not feel as forced to pull for characters for game content, whether that be puzzles in the overworld, certain enemies and bosses where the new mechanic gives you a slight edge, or the content within the Spiral Abyss, especially the Damn Abyss. So far, we had Kali for Dendra, which isn't exactly a regional mechanic, Lynette for Numa and Osea, Kachina for Night Soul, and Ino. Just Ino. Yeah, so basically... Lunar reactions are only really for characters that have moon wheels, and not every Nod-Krai character has a moon wheel. But hey, at least Ino is cute. And funny. At least there's that. Not having easy access to the new mechanic is a bummer, especially to the people such as myself that didn't really feel like pulling for any of these characters in favor for other characters that might rerun or come along. But how fucked are you without it? Well, there's those things. Rabid animals, hungry beasts, and disgusting creatures that love tearing your tight little hole into bits. These guys have given me so trouble, especially with how their HP mechanic works, HP drain and crit rate decrease. So it's advised to have a pretty good healer on deck to free yourself from this madness, or just kill it as fast as you can. I do have Mawika, so all I really need to do is in fact, most of what the Lunar reactions are is just more damage, right? Transformative reactions, but they can crit. So, do you really need it when you have another source of high damage? What about the Wild Hunt, the group of enemies that seemingly encourages you to use the Lunar stuff, like, more than any other foe? So, I'm sure that we've all noticed that they have a very annoying mechanic where they basically have a second health bar, the grief-stricken state, and you essentially need to fill it up in order to fully defeat them. And, of course, the bar fills up faster when you use Lunar reactions. But in my experience, you burn them. Or just find a way to deal high damage over time. In fact, that's what I did against that local legend. The one that hits like a truck and can basically undo all your progress within both health bars, and even nuke your active character if you don't kill his mobs in time. Oh hey, he's in the Abyss. Good for him. This is a similar problem, if not a carbon copy problem, with Natlin, such as the Abyssal Mimics. You know, the stupid enemies that have those jackass shields that only take the most damage from Night Soul skills and bursts. Yeah, not fun to deal with. But you do have a free option, albeit a limited one. Kachina's Night Soul application is pretty low, so it's essentially your other units doing the heavy lifting in terms of getting rid of that shield if you don't already have other, like, Natlin characters. But when all else fails, you burn them. Or just deal a maelstrom of elemental damage, then nuke them when they're vulnerable. What about the bosses? surely the bosses, the ones that you need to defeat to build these characters in the first place, will be fine without elemental reactions, right? There is this boss, which does have the ability to change elements and therefore elemental resistances to the element that it has been damaged the most by. And supposedly, if you use lunar reactions, you're not going to have this problem to begin with. But given how easy overworld bosses are, odds are you might nuke it before it even gets the chance to. Granted, I never personally sought out to fight this boss, so take my words with a grain of salt, but everything should be good. Until they put it in Stygian Onslaught and Spiral Abyss as well. Good for them. Though some people might argue that this fucking thing is a lot worse. I kinda see it. The Paparazzo will gather a bunch of power and nuke your active character if you don't get rid of its shield in time. And of course, the shield takes more damage from Night Soul skills and bursts. But again, you have free, albeit limited options. Pyro Traveler with their C6 actually does pretty good against the shield. Granted, you do need to complete the Archon quest to get Pyro Traveler and do all the tribal reputations to get them at C6, which can take a while, as well as Kachina's Night Soul application again being a bit too low. But when all else fails, you burn them, or just deal a maelstrom of elemental damage, then hit when they're vulnerable. And unlike this radiant fuck, it won't just change elements midway through the battle, so your main DPS can still DPS effectively. So, as far as propaganda goes, I think Nod-Krai's got it in the bag. And ultimately, it's a little grim. It is very grim. Yeah, so now there's just a lot more content where pulling the newest character feels more like the necessary thing to do. And again, the mechanics that come with them are not readily available. Granted, there's always the chance that the Traveler will have a Lunar reaction buff, or maybe the Cryo Traveler will have like Lunar stuff in their kit. Like if we like get them at the end of like the Nod-Krai patches, which probably not. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Or they can just get a buff to like their base kits. But until then, you're kind of left with nothing, unless you want to pull for the characters, of course. I won't sit here and say that it's truly necessary, because no matter what, there does seem to always be people that can clear certain content without needing newer units, and with the fucking weirdest ass team comps that I just wish I can pull off, but generally speaking, that's something I don't think most meta-slaved F2Ps could do. Also, the reason why I brought up Natlin so much was because I kept seeing Twitter posts comparing Night Soul to Lunar reactions and how it's less restrictive, and I can't blame them. Night Soul, at a surface glance, is eye candy with a time limit. Yes, there is Night Soul Burst, which decreases the cooldown per every character in your party that's Natlinese. But there's also the Cinder City set, which can be used by Night Soul characters and can allow them to buff pretty much almost anyone in your party via elemental reactions. And depending on the character's skill and or burst, they can reapply the buff and end up buffing multiple characters with different elements, which is something that makes off-field characters like Kachina and Pyro Traveler, who are, say it with me, free, really great to have, because you don't need to fully build them or pull for any other character to make pre-existing characters stronger. Which is why, as far as region-based mechanics go, Night Soul was a step in a pretty good direction. There was Numa and Osea, which didn't really affect your performance much in combat, aside from like stunning certain enemies and bosses, but it was mostly just useful for puzzles when you didn't feel like getting the Numa or Osea blocks or whatever. So, in truth, it was mostly just there. Meanwhile, in Nod-Krai, the moon is everywhere. But that's just my rant. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. Please consider subscribing and watching. Please watch my videos. My mom does not think I can be a YouTuber. Let's prove her wrong by the end of the year. We're not going to do that, but, you know, it would really surprise me if we did. But, yeah, that's it. Have an amazing day. Love you.